anyways, I've had this cyst on my arm. You both have probably seen it when we were running, and I've never liked it, but I'm like, I don't need to get rid of it. I'm like, that's just vain or whatever. And anyways, I like started getting freaked out about it. Like, okay, well, what if this thing is skin cancer or something? So, anyways, I've had this cyst in my arm, which is quite it's uncomfortable. Like it would hurt at different times, but I'm like, I don't need to get it taken out. For whatever reason, it was like uh I was like, okay, I don't need to take it out because I'm self-conscious of it. So because I'm self-conscious of it, I just need to sit with it and just allow it to be there. For some reason, it was like a discipline or something. Anyways, I started getting kind of freaked out about it at the end of last year, like right when my daughter was going to come. I'm like, well, what if I have cancer? Or what if this? And, so I started playing all those things through my head. Anyways, I got it taken out on Tuesday, and it was just weird, like laying on a table, having someone cut me open and then take this like marble sized thing out of my body and then go about their day. And me too.
What
But
type of sedation or numbing did they use?
they just did a local. So like,
Okay.
the back of my arm was, it was all numbed up, and they're sitting there cutting in it, and they're like cauterizing it so I can like smell my skin burning, which is also very weird and quite
Yep.
graphic.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it went very well, and they sent it off to the lab, and hopefully it comes back as no big deal. I am not worried about it. I had 2 attempts of this operation prior to me getting it taken out. None of them, the other 2 were not from medical professionals, nor was there any. So when I was first getting, like, checked out, they're like, "There's a scar on this." And they're like, "It's kind of, like, broken into, like, 2 fatty tumors or whatever." They're like, "Did someone try to cut this out?" And I'm like, yes, twice." So I had a couple buddies, and, you know, we were
Oh
doing
my god.
so
I think you
Oh
need
my
to
god,
tell
man.
can you tell those stories?
the first one was actually my wife, and at the time, my girlfriend and my brother. We were like at my parents' house, and they wanted to see if we could cut it out. And so I was like, yeah, let's do it. So they have this is like dull ass X-Acto knife, and we use ice to like rub on it, and they couldn't puncture the skin or whatever. So I'm like sitting there, and they're like trying to cut this thing out. This was many, many years ago, like 14 years ago. The second instance was about like 3 years ago. And I had a couple of buddies in town visiting me in Colorado, and one of them said, he was like giving me trouble about it. He's like, "That thing needs to come out. I'm gonna cut that thing out." I was like, "Fine, you can do it." And so he was trying to cut it with a pretty sharp X-Acto knife this time around, but he was getting sick, and so he couldn't do it. So, anyways, appreciate this professor's desire to be experience the human experience more fully.
I mean, even you just saying yes to a buddy with an X-Acto knife is like pretty intense mental something that I just either don't possess or haven't developed. I would be very curious to find out what part of the brain lights up or doesn't light up that allows somebody to uh, think about their body being cut into and like be okay with that in some way. It's very
Hmm.
intriguing.
Never
And
processed that. It's a really good question, or like good.
the fact that your buddy got sick while doing it too is like I love that you're like he's like all this pro I don't if he's listening I mean this in no ill intent but it's like macho, oh let me cut that thing out, and it's like all right here you go, it's like and then I just imagine him throwing up like it's like dude that's the way to disarm somebody who's like wanting to cut into you is like just yeah go for it.
I texted both of them afterwards. I was like, I finally had to get a professional to get this thing out of me. Oh man.
Oh goodness.